Tucked away in the snow-crested mountains in the northeast of Pakistan, Hunza Valley's natural grandeur and positioning has attracted travelers, mountaineers and merchants over hundreds of years. Apart from its majestic glaciers, turquoise lakes and apricot farms, the region is exceptionally rich in its cultural heritage. Hunza is primarily famous for the two fortresses it holds that avidly reflect its culture, and the journey started with the exploration of the famous Baltic Fort. Embedded into a cliff above Hunza River, Baltic Fort is a mammoth structure that spreads its magic. The fort opens up on a view to die for. A panoramic landscape of the Nagar Valley with the blue strip of river and the grey road alongside. The fort is surrounded by picturesque sceneries, huge gardens and a variety of local shops in the narrow streets leading to it. Royal gardens make up the fort's entrance with an apricot orchard grown over vast irregular fields. The path that leads through the gardens to the fort is filled with sawdust.
Altit means this side down. This walled fort happens to be the strongest structure of its time. It also considered to be the birthplace and the capital of the state of Hunza.
Its architecture makes it one of the most astonishing structures of its time. The doors were purposely built at 5 feet height to stop the enemies from entering the fort. The skillfully crafted wooden doors, windows and stairs have been restored amazingly. Yet they whisper tales of the times they have been witness to. The vessels and utensils used by the royal family are on display. The story of Baltic Fort is full of history. The remains of these preserved buildings tell a lot about the lifestyle of the people who used to live here. The structure, made of stone, sand and wood, has stood tall in the face of numerous earthquakes. One's imagination is taken back to the times prevalent almost 1,000 years ago.
I'm amazed that such intelligent minds would have conceived such an architectural design that still stands today. The fort was a watch over the entire valley. Built over 1,000 feet above Hunza River, the fort's only tower was built for strategic monitoring of the entire land, particularly during times of war. It is for this reason the tower is known as the Shikari Tower. It's astonishing that the tower was used for another purpose other than keeping a bird's eye view. It was used to throw off prisoners who were serving a death sentence.
Altit's strategic positioning must have been an advantage during the war times. It is beautiful but horrifying as well. People of those times have created a wonder of the world that captures you in the moment. It was amazing to witness the grand fortress that Altit is. Carpeted Karakoram highway is a smooth ride from the magnificent tunnels, passing the lake as you move north of Karimabad towards the Atabad Lake. These amazing tunnels are a piece of modern architecture and enable safe traveling as the area is prone to landsliding. Atabad tunnels open new gateways of tourism in the region. The realignment project happens to be a masterpiece that restored the link between Pakistan and China. After the tragedy that led to the formation of Atabad Lake in 2010, a huge portion of the giant Karakoram highway was submerged in water.
Atabad Lake does not have a romantic story regarding its formation. 3 gigantic glaciers, including a 35-mile-long Batura glacier, are positioned over the flooded towns. In the springtime, the snow melts down from the mountains into the lake.
The turquoise Atabad Lake is a wonder in its own might. It is a beautiful lake that adds magic to the serene views of Hunza.
One can never imagine that a disaster can also be beautiful. And Atabad Lake is a prime example of that. Spread over 700 meters with depth of 300 meters, this lake is nestled in the rocky mountains of Hunza Valley.
Boating on the Atabad amidst the mountains, one sees how trivial everything is. The space you occupy in the world. The calm waters are also teaching a very important lesson. Don't stop. Pave your way and conquer it all. The stunning mountains around are set out like a perfect panorama, framed by the steel grey of the waters of Atabad Lake, making it a perfect painting. Traveling helps so much with learning, but it is important to live responsibly. Sustainable tourism is the only way forward.
Hunza एक पूरी दुनिया में टॉप 10 टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन में आता है। बहुत सारी और जगह हैं, घिजर है जिस तरह हम गए हैं, और नई नई जो वैल्यूज डिस्कवर हो रही हैं। तो अगर 1 करोड़ लोग हुंजा में 100 साल में समा सकते हैं, इसका मतलब 1 साल में हुंजा में 1 लाख लोगों को आना चाहिए। अब ये कैसे निकलता है? वो इस तरह निकलता है कि एक जगह के अंदर कैपेसिटी में चाहिए आपको उधर अकोमोडेशन कितनी है, और अकोमोडेशन जो आप बनाए वो कंक्रीट स्ट्रक्चर पे नहीं, ऐसी अकोमोडेशन जो हुंजा के एनवायरनमेंट को ना तबाह करे। आप कितनी अकोमोडेशन बना सकते हैं? क्या वो 1 कमरा और ऐड कर सकते हैं कि 1 लाख कमरे और ऐड कर सकते हैं? सो वो एक तो आपने कमरों को, अकोमोडेशन को देखना है। नंबर 2, उधर क्लिनिकल फैसिलिटी, बेडिंग, हॉस्पिटल बेडिंग कितनी है? 10 to 20 लोगों के लिए एक बेड होना चाहिए। तो अगर 1 लाख लोगों ने आना है और 20 लोग हो, तो इट मीन्स कि वी नीड 5000 बेड्स। क्या 5000 बेड्स हैं? फिर इस तरह पानी, 1 लाख लोगों के लिए कितना पानी चाहिए, कितना फ्यूल चाहिए, कितना खाना चाहिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कितना चाहिए। तो ये सारी चीज देखने के लिए हमने हुंजा को देखना है कि हुंजा में अगर 1 साल में 1 लाख लोग आ सकते हैं, तो 1 लाख से ज्यादा लोग मत आए, क्योंकि अगर 1 लाख से ज्यादा लोग आएंगे तो वो उस जगह को, उस कमोडिटी को, जो हुंजा एक टूरिज्म के लिए कमोडिटी है, उसको तेजी के साथ डिप्लीट करेगी, और उसकी एनवायरनमेंट को, उसकी वैल्यूज को, उसके इकोसिस्टम को, उसके लोगों को, उसके कल्चर को, हर चीज को तबाह किया जाएगा। अगर हम एबी इनिशियो राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग इनको सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म की गाइडलाइंस के ऊपर डेवलप करना शुरू करें, तो लेट मी टेल यू कि ये जगह महफूज भी रहेंगी, सीनिक ब्यूटी भी हमें देंगी, हमें अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट भी देंगी, लोगों को भी प्रोटेक्ट रखेंगी, उनकी वैल्यूज, कल्चर को भी प्रोटेक्ट रखेंगी, और ये बहुत दूर तक इसकी सक्सेस जाएगी।
Karakoram Highway snakes its way through the Cathedral Range, also known as the Pasu Cones, offering a view to remember for a lifetime. The fairy tale magic of Pasu is incomparable. Being one of the most striking landscapes on the Karakoram Highway, the jagged peaks are a captivating sight. Spectacular Pasu cones seem like distant wallpaper that will soon be within reach. The sun-swallowing mountains reflect the last rays shimmering off the golden bronze rock.
There are many places to see in the Gilgit-Baltistan region, but a special place called Pasu Hunza is an amazing destination. Pasu is extremely famous for tourists from all over the world.
The cathedral peaks, also known as Pasu cones, are one of the most striking landmarks on planet Earth. When you are traveling on the Karakoram highway between Hunza and Khunjrab Top, these individual peaks welcome you with their grandeur.
Pasu village is positioned between Hunza and Sust, adjacent to Khunjrab Pass, from where the border of China is on the distance of a few kilometers. At one particular bend along the road, a small restaurant is located at a hilltop facing the sheer cliff walls of the mighty cones. Betting on who climbs the stairs without stopping, it was so much fun to help Maliha acknowledge the lesser-known beauty of her home country.
Local dishes in Hunza are an amalgamation of wheat, butter, milk, and apricot oil. Sounds fatty, but extremely delicious.
Famous for seasonal fresh fruits, Hunza offers the tastiest apricots that are transported all over the country.
The beauty of the area was stunning, with serenity all over. A long walk alongside such magnanimity was pure magic. How small this world and its problems are. Try playing conga drums under the swirling clouds, playing hide and seek with the craggy spires, and help your soul feel refreshed to the core. Going south of Basu at an altitude of 2,600 meters, the exotic Boret Lake welcomes you. The lake can be reached via a 2-kilometer unpaved jeep route from Hosseini village or a 3-hour trekking route directly from Kulkind.
It's freezing. I can't believe I trekked now to the Boret Lake and it's right beside me. And it's full of color and so beautiful. It's deep sea green blue and it's all worth it.
As you trek to the lake along the roadside, it is unveiled how some of the magical wonders might be hidden on the unseen sides that are often forgotten.
पाकिस्तान ट्रैकर्स के लिए जन्नत है। यहाँ आसान, मुश्किल और इंतहाई मुश्किल हर किस्म के ट्रैक्स पाए जाते हैं। मेरी हर पाकिस्तानी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो ट्रैकिंग को अपनी जिंदगी का हिस्सा बनाएं ताकि नेगेटिव लाइफस्टाइल में तवाज़ुन पैदा किया जा सके।
Hikers can follow the trekking route towards Boret Lake as far as the edge of the glacier and return by the same route.
Hunza has an abundance of precious stones and is famous all over the world for the stones extracted from its mountains. We came to know the raw stones are brought to the shops and carved into various shapes. Ruby, sapphire, and quartz are very popular in this region.
Almost all visitors stop to shop for the local stones, to take with them memorable belongings to recall their visit. Maliha wanted to explore the local shops so she could take back souvenirs as memories from Hunza. Karimabad town is dominated by tourist attractions, restaurants, hotels and travel agencies. Shawls and woolen caps are also very famous in Hunza. The traditional caps of Gilgit-Baltistan are flat and plain, and they provide warmth against the chilly winds. While you enjoy the overall ambience of the town, there's a small shop that is run by a woman. It is pleasing to see women empowerment in such a remote area of Pakistan. The woman is passionate about serving local food to the tourists. She pours her heart in the dish, and it's quite evident. Every year, many foreign tourists visit Gilgit-Baltistan who are fascinated by the eternal beauty of the valleys and want to explore more.
Tourism is all about culture, food, and experience. I had a delicious chamshoro from this very nice lady who only serves organic food. She is a prime example of ecotourism as she spoke about the use of natural ingredients, a healthy lifestyle, and organic food. Her passion and dedication should be used as an example everywhere.
Being a depiction of how the culture and history of the area evolved, Baltic Fort is another major tourist attraction in Hunza. The pathway leading to Baltic Fort is a steep road. The difficult yet adventurous hike to the fort is exciting, as one must stop for roadside shopping of the local herbs and dry fruits. To explore the fort, a local historian is always there for you. Maliha was amazed to see that the historian had served for more than 20 years, guiding you step by step while narrating the old tales of Baltic.
ये जो बल्ती फन तामीर है, ये बड़ा मुख्तलिफ तर्ज़े तामीर है जो सतूनों के ऊपर बनाया जाता है। इसके बारे में कुछ बताएं हमें।
कई सेंचुरियां लगी इसको बनाने में। इसमें जो बहुत तब्दीली आई ना, वो ब्रिटिश टाइम्स में आया है। 1891 में अंग्रेज यहाँ आए, उन्होंने इस इलाके को कंकर किया, क्योंकि महाराजा कश्मीर की फौजियों से नहीं हो सका था। वो 4 हमले हुई थी, वो नाकाम हुई। गिलगित तक तो आए थे, लेकिन वहां से आगे नहीं, उनको रेजिस्टेंस बहुत हुई। फिर अंग्रेजों ने खुद तैयारी की और खुद हमला किया। अंग्रेज दौर में यहाँ पे शीशे की खिड़कियों का इस्तेमाल हुआ, कलर ग्लास लग गया और चूने की सफेदी हुई।
अच्छा, ये इस किले में कौन सी रिहाइश रही है, कौन कौन लोगों की रिहाइश रही है, और खास करके अंग्रेजों के दौर में इससे लेकर आज तक इसमें क्या तब्दीली हुई?
आखिरी हुक्मरान मीर मोहम्मद जमाल खान साहब थे, जिन्होंने पाकिस्तान के साथ हुंजा स्टेट को एनेक्स किया था 3 नवंबर 1947 को। ये पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा बनाया था उन्होंने। वो इस किले को छोड़कर अपने नई महल चले गए। फिर
तो मैंने पढ़ा था कि ये जो बल्टिक फोर्ट है, ये 13वीं सदी में बना था। अभी मैं अल्टिट फोर्ट से होके आ रही हूँ, तो बल्टिक और अल्टिट फोर्ट में क्या कनेक्शन है?
बल्टिक किला जो है ना, ये गांव का नाम भी बल्टिक है और उस गांव का नाम अल्टिट है जहाँ से आप होकर आए हैं। वो किला ऑलमोस्ट 1000 साल कदीम है, ये 800 साल। वो सिर्फ सेरेमनीज और फेस्टिवल्स के लिए रहा, और ये यहाँ पे परमानेंट रेजिडेंस के लिए।
The oldest parts of Baltic Fort are 700 years old. In the 17th century, Mir Aisha II married a daughter of the Balti ruler. This was in order to form an alliance with the Baltistan's Makbun dynasty.
The building was carefully assembled stone by stone from 1990 to 1996. The effort was based on the advanced European preservation principles. The original structure was retained, along with the unique construction, with earthquake-proofing techniques deployed originally by the artisans. The fort restores the belongings of the royal family that are displayed for the visitors. This restoration of the fort has led to the revival of local trades that has created improved earning opportunities in the area. Baltic Fort was nominated for the World Heritage Award in 2004 and recognized for its excellent preservation.
While rear side of the fort is covered by snow-capped mountains, the front faces the valley, entailing the advantage of height. This impressive structure stands tall with all its might on top of a hill over several layers of masonry. बड़ी ज़बरदस्त तारीख है इस किले की, इस जगह की, इस हुंजा और गिलगित स्टेट की। ये एक बुक भी बिटवीन ऑक्सेस एंड इंडेक्स जो कर्नल शॉम्बर ने लिखी, ये भी 1935 की बुक है। तो क्या ये तारीख अंग्रेजों ने ही लिखी है हुंजा के बारे में?
तारीख नवीसी के जो दस्तावेजात के बारे में तज़किरा मौजूद है, इसमें एक किताब हमारे पास है। ये तारीख अहद अतीक रियासत हुंजा इसका नाम है, फारसी ज़ुबान में है। हुंजा कब आबाद हुआ, लोग कैसे आए, इधर आगे में मौजूद है। ये मैन लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल शॉम्बर की असयाहान और मुखबिरान फरंग بود। असल तारीख इसी किताब की थी जो कर्नल शॉम्बर लेके गए थे। इसी से इन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजें अपनी किताब में शामिल की हैं।
The highest paved international road in the world, Karakoram Highway is the road to heaven. Nothing less than a wonder. The road was built as an alternative to the old Silk Route and connects Pakistan with China through the Hunza Pass. It twists through three great mountain ranges, the Himalaya, the Karakoram and the Pamir. It is known to be one of the scariest yet excitingly beautiful routes that took a long time to complete. The construction of Karakoram Highway was started in 1959 and completed in 1986. As beautiful as it is, you need to drive with care on this carpeted mountain road that has curves, drop-offs, twists and turns. The views it offers are incredible, and you instantly feel the magic in the air while you're traveling with spectacular landscapes on your sides. Along the Karakoram Highway, different geomorphic structures and different types of rocks can be observed. The rocky topography of Hunza becomes more evident through the continental plates. It is because of them that the mountains of Karakoram and Himalaya came into existence, which are the highest as well as the youngest mountain ranges in the world. These are a wonder of nature, and the history of tectonic evolution has a very close relationship with different periods of organic movement caused by the underthrust of the Indian plate. Situated 45 kilometers east of Gilgit on the Karakoram Highway, Juglot is the place where three extravagant mountain ranges of the Himalaya, Karakoram and Hindu Kush greet each other. And this junction of mighty mountain ranges is a great phenomena of nature, to say the least.
I am so thrilled that I can see three mighty mountain ranges of the world in a single view. Hindu Kush is on this side, Karakoram is on the middle, and Himalaya is on that side. It's thought-provoking to realize your insignificance in front of this magnanimity.
The nature along with the local community needs to be protected through sustainable tourism measures that ought to be implemented for the generation of socio-economic benefits. The local government is taking initiatives to make Hunza a plastic-free area. A sustainability walk was held in Karimabad, which was joined by children, youngsters and the adults as a means of showing support for the cause.
हुंजा गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का वाहिद वो ज़िला है जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा प्रेफर्ड डेस्टिनेशन है तमाम टूरिस्ट का। अगर इसको हम सस्टेनेबल नहीं बनाएंगे, सस्टेनेबली इसको हम डील नहीं करेंगे, तो ये भी रहमत के बजाय एक ज़हमत बन सकती है और हमारा जो ये इन्वायरमेंट है ये डिप्लीशन की तरफ जाएगा।
The sustainable measures also need to be extended for Nagar district and develop it into a tourist attraction so as to divide the load and divert tourists from Hunza.
The Nagar Valley has immense potential for tourism. Normally, people are only aware about Hunza, but this exotic valley is underrated and unexplored. The famous Rakaposhi, Dirad, and Golden Peaks are right here in Nagar Valley.
The road from the Nagar Khas Bazaar leads you to the last village of Hispar, and another route takes you to Hopper.
I am standing at the edge of the famous Rush Lake track, which is the highest lake of Pakistan. Near Rush Lake, there is 5,100-meter Rush Peak as well. In Nagar, this is a great attraction for the adventure lovers to experience the combination of a beautiful track, a serene lake, and one of the easiest 5,000 meter plus peak to summit altogether.
The boundless evening skies with celestial objects that are inaccessible yet so yearned for. You can feel the tranquility surge in your soul. The breathtaking view of Rakaposhi looks like a grand canvas in front of your eyes. The crevassed glacier that extends for 30 kilometers, with Rakaposhi Peak dominating the skyline. Seen at first from the north of Aliabad, it is visible till the south in Gilgit. It is extremely broad, measuring 20 kilometers from east to west.
It is the only peak on Earth that drops 6,000 meters uninterrupted and unbroken from summit to its broad base. I feel delighted to have this unimaginable view on this clear sky after waiting for a couple of days.
This whole landscape is a testament to the geography formed over tens of millions of years. The valleys and the terrain creates this astonishing masterpiece that's known as Hunza Nagar in Gilgit-Baltistan. As night falls, the entire valley turns into a blinking canvas. Buddhism was prevalent in the region since the ancient times and left its mark on the civilization of Hunza. Buddhist sacred rocks used to have great religious value and are a sanctuary for Buddhists.
Buddhist texts were initially verbally passed on by monks, which is evident in these rock inscriptions. Over time, as Buddhism spread, these were written down and composed as manuscripts, and then eventually translated into Indo-Aryan languages.
There are 4 sites that are situated side by side with manuscripts from the ancient times that can be categorized in several ways.
The presence of Buddhism in this region has now been limited to archaeological sites. The inscriptions on these sacred rocks in Hunza cover a wide range of themes such as iconometry, philosophy, medicine, folk tales, and general knowledge.
The Buddhist sites are one of the many sites in the world which have preserved the carvings and scripts from the times of Buddha. It is known that most of the Buddhists of this region moved east to Ladakh, where Buddhism is the majority religion. A trip to Hunza and Nagar is incomplete without a visit to Khunjara Pass. The long, relatively flat pass is often snow-covered during the winter season, and as a consequence is generally closed. But this spectacular pass is a top tourist location and astonishes travelers from all over the world. It is the highest border crossing in the world, entailing a strategic position at the northern border of Pakistan and the southwest border of the Xinjiang region of China.
Punjab Top is at a height of over 16,000 feet, and the highest metal road of the world is built till this point. Hunza National Park is a habitat of many endangered species like Marco Polo sheep, snow leopard, and Himalayan ibex. It is very important to protect these endangered species and preserve their ecosystem.
The arcing gateway welcomes you to the world of China and is a landmark of the strong ties and friendship between the two nations.
The Punjab National Park has the potential to develop into one of the world's foremost national parks. According to the WWF, the plan now is to turn this into a national peace park with conservation areas on both sides of the border. Negotiations are underway, and if this plan is realized, it would mean an ecological park with open boundaries for wildlife.
The national animal of Pakistan, the markhor, is one of those animals that live on a very high altitude. It runs around the steepest of mountains with the greatest of ease. These snow-covered mountains and valleys of great splendor will inspire forever. One cannot help but go back over and over again. And just as every good thing comes to an end, the story of Hunza Nagar ended beautifully with a lot of memories and magic.